It's quite challenging to comprehend how our loyal companions, dogs, can transform into uncontrollably hostile and fierce creatures. Yet, when circumstances demand it, these loyal animals can become extraordinarily aggressive predators. Regardless of the adversary they face, they often leave their opponent marked for life, exactly what we're about to witness. In one instance, two Dobermans encountered a large snake, showcasing impressive coordinated hunting strategies that proved fatal for the reptile. The dogs employed a strategic pincer movement, attacking from opposite sides to divide the snake's focus. When the snake attempted to strike one of the dogs, it left a critical opening. The second Doberman capitalized on the moment, gripping the snake tightly in its jaws. Driven by an instinctive fear of the snake's venomous capabilities, the Doberman launched into a violent shaking motion designed to neutralize any chance of retaliation. Even after the snake was clearly lifeless, the dog's aggression remained undiminished, continuing its relentless attack as if determined to obliterate its adversary completely. In another surprising encounter captured by chance, a Doberman faced off with a coyote at the edge of an open field. The wild canine's initial reaction was telling. It froze on the spot upon noticing the domestic dog. The tension during their brief standoff was palpable, with the coyote's body language revealing growing unease and faltering confidence. The Doberman's sheer presence was enough to create a psychological edge, intimidating its wild counterpart before any physical altercation even began. The turning point occurred when the Doberman made its first assertive move forward. The coyote's composure shattered instantly, triggering a flight response as it bolted at full speed. The Doberman gave chase, and both animals disappeared from the cameraman's view as the pursuit carried them beyond the open field. Another astonishing display of skill and tactical acumen unfolded when a lone Doberman pinscher faced off against 5 coyotes. Despite being significantly outnumbered, the dog exhibited remarkable composure while the wild canines tried to outmaneuver it with coordinated circling tactics. With its owner's guidance, the Doberman executed a defensive strategy that effectively disrupted the pack's attempts to hunt. Each time the coyotes tried to flank or overwhelm the dog, it responded with precise, calculated movements, either holding its ground or strategically retreating as the situation demanded. The pack's repeated, ineffective efforts to exploit a weakness in the Doberman's defense eventually led to their withdrawal. This retreat marked an extraordinary victory for the lone domestic dog, whose disciplined training and controlled aggression successfully countered the coordinated tactics of multiple wild predators. Another life-or-death encounter involved a Doberman showing exceptional bravery when confronted by a cougar. The confrontation began as soon as the dog's barking drew the cougar's attention, prompting an immediate attack. Despite the cougar's overwhelming size and strength quickly giving it the upper hand, the Doberman refused to surrender. Even when pinned beneath the predator, which attempted to strangle it, the dog fought back with relentless determination. The situation took a decisive turn when the Doberman's owner arrived on the scene, disrupting the cougar's lethal intentions. Startled by the human intervention, the big cat abandoned its attack and fled. The timing was critical, as the Doberman's fierce loyalty and courage in defending its territory, though admirable, might have resulted in a tragic outcome without its owner's timely arrival. Primal aggression erupted between a Doberman and a bulldog, separated only by a providential fence. Both dogs displayed extreme hostility, their furious barking and aggressive posturing leaving no doubt about their lethal intentions if not for the barrier between them. The Doberman's aggression was particularly intense, its threatening display suggesting it could have inflicted serious damage if given the chance. The bulldog met this hostility with equal ferocity, neither dog willing to back down from their fence-line confrontation. Each bark and snarl carried a deadly promise, with the fence standing as the sole factor preventing what would have likely been a savage clash. A similar scenario unfolded when 2 coyotes tested the limits of their boldness near a fenced property guarded by a pit bull. The domestic dog assumed a silent but commanding stance, its mere presence serving as an unmistakable warning to the intruders. The wild canines hesitated, assessing their numerical advantage against the pit bull's imposing demeanor. After a tense standoff, the first coyote lost its nerve and retreated, leaving its companion to confront the situation alone. The remaining coyote continued its evaluation before ultimately deciding that the risk outweighed any potential reward. Following its partner's lead, it backed away from the property, abandoning any thoughts of confrontation. In remote terrain, an unexpected power dynamic played out when a mastiff turned the tables on a wild wolf. A distant observer captured the moment on video. Despite being outmatched in sheer physical strength, the domestic dog demonstrated remarkable courage, confronting and pursuing the larger predator from its territory. The encounter defied conventional wisdom about strength and dominance in canine conflicts. The Mastiff's aggressive territorial defense, fueled by instinct and determination, proved more decisive than physical advantage. Exhausted and bewildered by this unexpected reversal, the wolf eventually retreated, learning a valuable lesson about the risks of intruding into defended territory regardless of presumed superiority. Territorial defense turned violent in another confrontation, as two guard dogs cornered a wolf, transforming its initial aggression into visible panic. Although the wolf responded with fierce displays, the dogs remained calm and calculated, methodically waiting for the right moment to strike. Their opportunity came suddenly, unleashing the full force of their coordinated attack. One dog seized the wolf's neck while its partner joined the attack. The coordinated assault left the wolf pinned and helpless, completely overwhelmed by the domestic dog's combined strength and tactical advantage. Just as defeat seemed inevitable, the wolf managed to wrench itself free from their grip. Its retreat turned into a frantic escape, with the dogs continuing their relentless pursuit. Rather than aiming to kill, they focused on driving the intruder far away from their territory. The sustained chase and harassment were clear signs of territorial defense, likely in protection of their owner's property. The wolf's terror-stricken expression during the encounter, coupled with the dog's relentless persecution, made it evident that it would not risk returning to this territory after such a decisive defeat. Lightning-fast instincts took over when a massive mastiff spotted a wolf attempting to raid its sheep flock from a distance. As the panicked sheep scattered, the guard dog launched into immediate action, demonstrating why these breeds are celebrated for their flock protection abilities. The wolf's predatory intentions vanished the instant it realized it had been detected, with its calculated hunting strategy giving way to a desperate attempt to flee. The mastiff's relentless pursuit left the predator no chance to regroup or counterattack. Fear drove the wolf to run at full speed, but the determined mastiff matched its pace, showing no intention of abandoning the chase. The predator's panic only grew as the guard dog maintained pressure, fully aware of the devastating consequences of being caught. Both animals eventually disappeared from sight, the wolf still fleeing at top speed and the mastiff continuing its aggressive pursuit without hesitation. In another encounter, one-sided brutality unfolded as a domestic dog demonstrated complete dominance over an outmatched wolf. After knocking its opponent to the ground, the dog maintained ruthless control through a series of calculated and relentless attacks. The wolf's desperate defense centered on protecting its vulnerable neck from the dog's lethal precision. Each time the struggling predator managed to regain its footing, the dog immediately forced it back down, sustaining devastating pressure throughout the clash. Despite the wolf's attempts to mount any kind of resistance, the domestic dog's superior combat skills proved overwhelming. Systematically dismantling the wolf's defenses, the dog repeatedly asserted its dominance through precise, powerful attacks, leaving no doubt about its victory. Raw power and sheer courage collided when a single Doberman faced two bloodthirsty wolves in the dead of night. Despite being outnumbered, the Doberman exhibited extraordinary ferocity against the wild predators attempting to surround and overpower it. The wolves used coordinated hunting tactics, trying to flank their target by attacking from opposite sides to disorient it. However, the Doberman countered their moves with remarkable defensive precision and forceful counterattacks, refusing to yield to their strategy. Undeterred by the odds, the dog demonstrated a fearless willingness to take on both wolves in a clash of survival and strength. But once one of the wolves managed to land a bite, the other saw an opportunity and went in for the kill. Together, the two wolves overwhelmed the fearless canine. Unfortunately, courage alone isn't always enough to win such battles. In another instance, a potentially lethal encounter was avoided when a full-grown Kangal interrupted a wolf's attempted attack on a small dog resting by its doghouse. The wolf's hunting opportunity turned into immediate danger as the massive guardian dog appeared on the scene. Without hesitation, the Kangal charged at the predator in full protective mode, its aggressive advance leaving no room for doubt. No physical clash was necessary, its sheer presence and commanding display sent the wolf retreating. Meanwhile, the small dog, seemingly unaware of the danger it narrowly escaped, joined in its protector's display of aggression, showcasing misplaced bravado. Sheer dominance triumphed over numbers in another confrontation, where a massive alibi found itself surrounded by hungry wolves competing for the same piece of meat. Despite their advantage in numbers, the wolves' confidence faltered before the imposing size and commanding demeanor of the alibi. With a single growl that carried an unmistakable warning, the guardian dog claimed the contested meal decisively. Even with their pack advantage, the wolves' hunger wasn't enough to override their instinctive caution toward such a powerful adversary. The standoff ended in the alibi's favor, as the wolves retreated without daring to challenge the superior opponent. The domestic guardian retained its prize, effortlessly dominating multiple wild predators through pure intimidation. Two wolves encountered what seemed like an advantageous situation, a Kangal dog restricted by a leash. Sensing a vulnerability in the confined guardian, the predators decided to test their numerical advantage against what they perceived as a limited defender. The wolves cautiously approached, probing for weaknesses while maintaining a safe distance. However, the Kangal's powerful presence and defensive stance quickly gave them pause, even with its restricted movement. As the standoff continued, the wolves' initial confidence began to waver. Gradually, they came to realize that even a leashed Kangal presented far too dangerous an opponent. After careful assessment, the predators abandoned their hunting aspirations, retreating rather than risking a confrontation with the formidable guard dog. Did you enjoy this video? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we upload new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.